If I take you back in 2000 when you first started the brand, when streetwear culture, you tried to imbue that into Singapore's culture, what were some challenges you faced in the very early days?
I would say the early days challenge compared to the challenges now, actually not so challenging after all. Why? Because at the end of the day, you look at brands back then, when we started early 2000s, not many competition.
Yeah.
Because what you have are probably brands that we already grew up with. But there's no one Singapore brand that is, oh, this is a brand that we can call our own and give us that, oh, if you are a DJ, we were supporting a lot of DJs, turntablists, skateboarders, because that was the era ma. And compared to the current climate now, the era of people who are creating content, more influencers, YouTubers, a different kind, is same but different because they also represent Singapore in a way. So our objective, or rather our dream, is to let this talented pool of people who are representing Singapore, and support back then wasn't a lot. Maybe if they go represent Singapore on the world stage, right? We want to be the one to dress them lah.
And when you talk about influencers and DJs like you mentioned, the way I see it is you weren't really building a clothing line, right? You were building this whole brand mission of the streetwear line, right? What were you trying to build in the early days? What kind of culture or vision do you have for the brand?
We know that building a brand is not easy. So we have this whole community of talented creators fighting for the same goal, right? To make sure that we spread the word, we get ourselves out there, and then put us on a world map. At that age, early 20s, you're very ideal, man. Wow, I want to do this, I want to make good. And we just held on to that belief that it can be done. And I think over the last decade, all these have been achieved to a certain extent because with the progress and the speed of social media, internet, information, and whatever that you can get now at the fingertips, that actually made the world so much smaller.
But also more competitive, would you say?
Yes, correct. Competition is everywhere, regardless of whether you want it or not. And I think competition sometimes is also good because that keeps you out of your complacent zone.